It's December 3rd, 1994. Pato Banton's peppy reggae single, Baby Come Back, is keeping Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men out of the number one spot in New Zealand singles charts. Jim Bolger is Prime Minister, but Ruth Richardson, the finance minister behind the mother of all budgets, known as Ruthanasia, retires from politics. It's a banner year for New Zealand film, with both Heavenly Creatures and Once Were Warriors becoming huge critical and commercial hits. Barney the Dinosaur makes his first appearance on our screens in the mid-afternoons. But it's late at night that the real action's happening. The debut of Sky Origins heralds the arrival of a new phenomena for our television. After midnight, adult programming. Join us as we remember when Sky started showing soft porn. I mean, this was actually like a big kind of cultural moment. I know that we'd had boobs on TV before now, because Angela Dordney famously had boobs before she became the newsreader. And that's like a moment. I don't know why you're laughing. She
didn't just have boobs. She showed boobs.
She showed boobs, and that sort of rocked the nation. But to have regularly scheduled every night there are going to be some boobs for teenagers across the country who had no outlet for being horny, there was now a place for that to go and be and be, well,
enlightened.
You figure it out. You figure it out.
So this is Sky One. This wasn't its own adult channel.
Yeah, no, Sky One.
So it was just the normal TV would just tick over suddenly at a certain time with no fanfare or warning.
It was just like we're showing a rerun of, like, I don't know. It would have been like sort of Hill Street Blues or something.
I don't even know what like the kaupapa of Sky One was outside of the late night porn. Like, I remember nothing else about that channel except for the late night porn.
Basically,
it says a lot about me.
Yeah, it does. It does. But it also, like, so Sky One was, it basically was a budget TV channel that just showed some stuff that Sky had bought. It was a free channel that was with the basic Sky package. So you had your sport channel and you had like CNN or whatever, and this was their sort of attempt to do a normal channel. And
was it like a dumping ground for the stuff they got in packages?
Yeah. Pretty much. So it would have showed a lot of reruns of kind of and syndicated shows and so on. But I think it was actually an incredibly smart move to be like, what will make this product sticky, so to speak?
Oh my God.
Because there's no internet, right?
There's no internet.
There's no internet. Is this the main access point for pornography for you two?
You just can't underestimate how hard it was to even see a nipple in 1994. I didn't even know what they were. I was just like imagining what they, based on description, what they might be like before this. Jane, just explain your relationship with this.
I mean, I specifically remember Red Shoe Diaries, and it was a series that starred David Duchovny of X-Files fame. So that in itself was something.
Well, and Californication later. Like, this guy is two of the most like ravenously horny shows to ever screen on network television.
So for me, maybe there was some weird it's a series that has a theme, that has plot lines in it, and it just happens to have raunchy sex scenes in it with nipples and so on. But I think, if I recall correctly, the premise of Red Shoe Diaries specifically was that like he was a jilted lover who had been hurt by his ex who left him, and then he wanted to find out the way woman thought or something, like what made people
I have no
tick.
memory. I was like just vaguing out, just waiting.
I mean, I was watching the show for the stories, obviously, and then and so he put like an ad in a classified. This was the whole kind of opening piece, was an ad in the classifieds where he was seeking people's diary entries or something. Do we have that? Do we have the intro?
Let's listen to it, because it is, if nothing else, like the Aaron Simpson show, which we've recently discussed. It's a musical masterpiece too.
Good on you, Zalman. I mean, look.
Wow.
I'm so confused. Who is wearing what? Who's wearing the red shoes? Do they
David-
belong to the diary?
David Duchovny is Red Shoes. That's his that's his
okay.
character, and he wants people to send their diary entries to him, and so the diary entries then become the episode. Like what's written in the diary becomes
So
the
this
episode.
is like Penthouse Forum, but make it a TV series with all of the.
Exactly right. That's exactly what it is. And so, it'd be very difficult to get away with this sort of theme these days because it's a bit like, send me your sexy diaries. I'm a creepy dude. I was going to say on the internet, but no, I'm a creepy dude in the paper.
The classified was, woman, send me your stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And then he's reading it and like fantasizing, and that's what each episode is.
Can't remember the specifics of. I don't think he's not the person doing the sexy stuff. He's data gathering. It's all he's doing. He's just
editing the anthology.
He's just trying to understand what makes a lady tick.
When did X-Files come out? I'm so confused about David Duchovny's age because this looks 9,000 years old.
No, this actually ran like through the 90s, and then X-Files.
X-Files was started in 1993.
So it must have overlapped with
Yeah, because-
X-Files. How is that allowed? Like you'd think that he'd be forbidden from mainstream society from being such a lascivious monster.
Red Shoe Diaries ran 92 to 97. So I definitely know that I knew him from X-Files. It wasn't the other way around.
So you could just be an innocent fan.
Yeah.
It's interesting that there's that you see a belt buckle and a hairy tummy in there because it was nipples but no knobs. Like to be clear, there was nothing below the belt on Sky One. Do you recall ever seeing like a muff?
Oh my god!
No, I didn't.
Oh
I don't.
my god!
I don't recall seeing that.
I'm very upset.
You're very red. Shoe Diaries.
That's just what they were called back then.
Can't say muff on a camera.
It's not my fault. Like this is just
We're reporting.
it was a different time, Alex. You don't know.
I was 3.
Oh no,
There
now
were
this
muffs
becomes
in our
problematic. Okay, so no, I don't recall seeing what you said. I do recall boobs. I recall kind of what we saw was like a lady heading south.
For the winter.
Weirdly, I didn't notice it the first time I watched it, but there was a kind of a weird little saliva situation going on as well around his hairy belly. But what a treat, you know?
So
And
you're
it's just-
hold on. So you're watching this. Red Shoe Diaries, your favourite show. This is alone. You're staying up for this on like a weeknight. Do you
Well, the
watch it with
parents have gone to
people?
bed, and I'm of an age, I think, for the most part, where they don't need to make sure I'm in bed before they go to bed. So I'm commandeering the telly in the lounge and keeping a very keen ear out for footsteps. And
Gathering data of your own.
the Sky remote had that button that was like quickly switched to the previous channel.
Yeah.
Whatever the previous channel
Really
was.
important
so
button.
your hand is hovering on that. Wow, I'm really outing myself a lot here. But it was just a curiosity, really.
The thing is, so this was basically inspired by After Midnight and Oral History, if you'll put the pun, of Sky One Porn, which Callum wrote a few years ago, based on he's interviewed via anonymous email 40 different patrons of the service. And it's an iconic all-time spin-off piece. But what you're describing is by no means, unique to you.
Okay.
It was literally everyone who was watching it had the exact same policy.
There's a barrier to entry though, right? Because you had to have Sky, which is a paid service. So this is not. This is for the elite youth in a way.
Well, it was, but Sky, you've got to remember, back then had over 50% penetration within the market.
I liked the bit in Callum's story where he talks about people who swore even if you didn't have Sky, you could watch the like unscrambled channel and still hear it, and you could stare at it like a magic eye. And some people swore you could see like the muffs and whatnot.
You just said muff. This is great.
You
I
poisoned me.
I totally forgot about like hacking Sky through the unscrambled channels.
It was just really hard to see bad stuff. Like there were bagged pornos in a dairy that you were just way too ashamed to and they were R18. Like you couldn't, like you.
It was easier to get smokes.
Yeah, it was so much easier. Like you could get singles or 10 packs. Like it was, the porn was just hard to get.
Yeah, and I think porn circulated on VHS, like mates shared VHS tapes. That wasn't so much something that happened with like amongst my circle of girlfriends, but certainly like we knew dudes who circulated VHS tapes, probably of Red Shoe Diaries.
The historical sort of line on porn was that it was a male phenomenon, and then obviously latterly we explored some of this in Porn Week.
This is Debbie Does Dallas era.
Yeah,
like there's like 4 porn films.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, in Emmanuel, which they talk about, this sort of French series that sort of went everywhere, including to space, was also a big part of it, and that was so grainy that it might as well have been scrambled. Like a lot of this, like it wasn't like there were going to be people sort of furiously dialing 0800 759 759, sort of explaining, trying to demanding HD quality. Like everyone was furtive and drenched in shame about this stuff. So you could just put anything up there. So Red Shoe Diaries was iconic. So was Emmanuel, but there was all kinds of random crap up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just, for some reason, it's just Red Shoe Diaries is so cemented in my head. But it sounds like there's more for me to discover.
Like, when did they decide? I'm trying to figure out, when did this taper off? And then,
It might still be going. It's just that it's, like with so many things in our media, the digital revolution really kind of came for adult programming. 18S.
I can tell you when it ended. Well, I can tell you when Sky One ended. Clearly a COVID casualty, 1st of September 2021.
But what is it now? Like there's still
it's Sky
some kind
Showcase.
Yeah, so that's the
Sky
same
Max.
thing. They're just
Max.
What was that noise?
Well,
Stop that.
Well, because some of the if you want to get really into the history of this stuff, like historically there was a channel in the US called Cinemax, which had the nickname Skinemax because it also relied on adult programming, and that was in the early days of cable, which was no doubt the inspiration for this. What we really need to get is bloody John Follett on here to explain himself, the 16-year titan of New Zealand media CEOs, just to kind of tell me about this in this programming mix.
I'm just on Sky's TV Guide.
I'm very tempted to just call him now.
No,
that's too offensive. I can't Mary Lamb be the man.
I mean, I was 3, but I also didn't have Sky. So, I'm just much, much younger than you. I just want to be clear about that.
Oh, cool.
And
Thanks.
so I never had any access to any of this. But my, I guess, comp for when I was maybe like 10 or 11 was, I remember I had a TV in my room, and if you stayed up late enough, you could watch Nip Tuck. And Nip Tuck at 11 o'clock, that was some sexual activity. And a lot of like other stuff as well. A lot of like murders and crazy Ryan Murphy action. But like that was kind of like the first time I feel like I saw sex on TV ever.
Imagine having a TV in your room in the Sky One era. I mean, I guess it had to have.
You'd never leave your room.
You'd have to have. Well, not after midnight, you wouldn't. You'd have to have a decoder.
Yeah.
Because if you wired into the shed, because there's that setup where you could have Sky running to another television, but it had to be showing whatever was playing on the main Sky decoder, which is huge risk.
Incredibly dangerous.
Because if someone decided to wander in and turn on the main telly while you're in your bedroom watching some Red Shoe Diaries, yes.
No, you have plausible deniability because it could just have been left on Sky One.
True.
The dangerous thing is if your parents are still up watching, maybe your dad's got the Formula One on and you're sort of up and you put, I'll just change it to Sky One. And your dad's like, well, hang on.
Or worse, you're watching Formula One and your dad's in the lounge and then he puts it on the...
Oh, God, that is a true nightmare I hadn't considered, but thanks for that.
We'll leave you with that thought, I think. I need to wrap it up.
Okay. Well, thanks for remembering this really disgusting thing with us.
Go read Callum's piece on the Spinoff.
It's so good. It's so good. And sorry, Alex, for... I said before about muffs.
Ah!